Welcome back to another Non-JudgeMetal. James McGruff here. Scott's back with me. Senior De Niro stopped by after a drunken escapade out on town.
Been a great day.
Yeah, it sounds like it. You wobbled in here a little while ago unexpectedly, and we were welcome to have you. Got a nice clean place due to Miss Serenity McGruff helping me out. I got a little way from far away, man. But this week, right off the bat, we got sent a link to some fresh music by a group called 333. That's with a colon in the middle, like the time. They have an album S-T out. Sent us a link to that. We checked out a few songs on it. And I'm going to give them a shout out right off the bat because we always appreciate new music getting sent in. And we're a big fan of Bandcamp here and allowing artists to kind of get their music out there, to people who might otherwise not get to hear it, man. And these guys, it seems that they're right down the road from us in Richmond, us being a Southwest Virginia Roanoke-based podcast. So pretty awesome that somebody local would send us some stuff here. Right off the bat, I'll say that thrash and kind of hardcore punk stuff, not really my bread and butter, but I really dug this in a way that it kind of had gang vocals. I remember the opening track heard some gang vocals in it, man. A lot of aggression, a lot of anger, and a massive amount of talent. And that's something I can appreciate, and I appreciate, and I try to open and listen to. I liked it for what it was. Like I said, it's not my go-to metal. I'm more of a groove guy, but damn, I was impressed, man. And I'd sent it to you when we first got a link of it a few weeks back. This record came out July 19th, and they sent it to us shortly after that. So I got to hear it and passed it along to Scott. What'd you think?
Oh, very good. Very, very fast. Has a lot of headbanging potential to it,
Yeah.
I could see myself, breaking my neck to it.
Yeah, he likes to slam around in the fucking pit and tear people up, and right. I can see Scott throwing down to some shit like this. So that's right up his alley. And you stopped by, you sauntered in here intoxicated and sat down just in time to catch this new band. You got to hear that. I wanted to let you hear it too since you were joining us. What'd you think?
I mean, I do enjoy it, and they're doing it well. It's got some good influence to it. It's not my daily listen, but for what they are doing, man, I definitely appreciate it. Good sound. I'd definitely go see a show and throw some fuckers around.
Yeah,
yeah. Why not?
Good time's a good time, right? Something
absolutely.
heavy and fast is always a blast, man.
Absolutely,
so,
man.
I'm saying. These guys are right down the road from us. There's a chance we could go out there and catch a local show and might even see these cats.
That'd be great, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's pretty cool. So I appreciate you guys sending that to us. I'll share the link to the Non-JudgeMetal page. Maybe get people to get a little shot at picking that up for you. And definitely good luck, man. And you guys are killing it. So keep up the good work.
What's the price on this album, man?
The price on it? Yeah. You're right. It is a very conveniently priced $6.66. So open up your wallet.
It's fucking great.
And give Satan penance to these cats, man. And take their record home, download. It's a digital download. You got $6.66.
I absolutely do, man.
That's like the price of a combo at McDonald's or some shit,
Oh, yeah.
And just as fucking deadly for you. So come on,
pick it up. Enjoy it much longer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When you feel guilty for eating that crap, you can turn this shit on and just get angry.
Just fucking angry.
Release that anger.
Maybe you want to stop, man. And the fucking little artwork, man, here on the album cover, man. Like I don't even know if I can interpret all this, but it's very well done and it's very, very, very detailed, and I like that. Like that's some eye-catching shit. Yeah,
black and white's really eye-catching.
Like I remember clicking on it when the gentleman first sent me the link, and I was like, "That's awesome." Right off the bat, it kind of pulled me in there. And I'm no professional anything. I don't do none of that stuff for a living. But when something catches my eye and I know I like it, I'm more willing to throw out that little bit of dollars. So good luck on that, man, and I hope everyone gives you $6.66.
Hell yeah.
So. Non-JudgeMetal.
Back at it.
So, what's been going on in the world of metal, man? Like, for real,
A lot of really sad shit.
Man. There's been a lot of death. I don't know if you've been following up with it, but there's been a lot, man. Today, even, we came as Romans.
Kyle Pavone.
Yeah, dead at 28. I don't even think they've released.
They haven't said why or how or
that was today.
Like that.
Wow.
And that comes right after some of the other deaths we've had lately. They said Jonathan Davis is I think ex-wife, or they were in the middle of a divorce. She passed away too.
I wasn't sure if they were getting a divorce or not. But
Well, it said estranged wife, and I'd heard that he had filed for divorce on the day. Like, I mean, I didn't follow all that stuff. Once I heard she passed, it's just kind of like, I almost felt guilty diving into those articles, like I'm invading somebody's privacy. But that she was only 39 years old, but it's been all over. It's been all over all the music news and the metal news, and
definitely feel bad for Jonathan Davis.
Absolutely, he actually was scheduled to play at our rock festival we're having here in the Blue Ridge next week.
Right, absolutely.
And he's pulled out now.
He's pulled out.
Right. Understandably so. I don't think you can be mad about that. I don't think anybody can be upset about it.
Not at all, man.
I don't blame him.
Got to take care of that for sure.
He needs his time. He needs his space. That's completely understandable.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it was I think it was a fight with sobriety, they said, that might have done her in. And that's what's sad about it to me. Such a prominent issue in the world of music. Not even metal, but just the world of music, period.
Right.
It's something you deal with.
In the world at all, period.
Yeah,
that happens just every day, and it's sad.
It is.
And people have their vices. They're going to do what they do. Some people are functional. Some people, exist their whole life.
Right.
Kind of in that vortex, but you hear more and more nowadays how it's taken more and more people from us, and that's just a hard thing for me to fathom.
And that's, it is reality, man. It is growing rapidly, but related but not related. Probably the biggest impact that I've had, man, was Vinnie Paul.
Oh yeah, we talked about that actually last episode. We brought that up, gave him a shout out to it, man. That's a hard thing. That's a hard thing for especially me with my love for Pantera.
Oh my God, man.
Did you see that the Black Label Society played at Phase 2?
Yeah. I was out of town performing my first wedding the night they played.
I saw a bunch of pictures, and his setup was so cool. He had these big those little banners where you put band logos and stuff. He had on both sides of the stage. It was Vinnie Paul and Dime.
Nice.
Just on his stage, and he was just rocking out. It was just that was really cool.
That is incredible, man. Yeah, definitely two wonderful musicians, man.
We're taking away from us way too soon.
Way too soon.
Just sorely missed, man. Unbelievable.
It's incredible. And then Jill Janis, the singer for Huntress. She was 43 years old, and she passed away, they said, of apparent suicide. That was in the past, couple weeks as well. It's been absolutely just a sad time for metal.
Absolutely.
And we're here to honor them and keep the metal dream going. Everybody wants a good life. When you hear about a tragic end to people like you hear with the drugs or the mental issues,
just breaks your heart.
Yeah, it does, and and then we were planning to talk about this today anyway. Then we wake up to the news of We Come as Romans losing their vocalist, and
especially those people that have affected your life, that have been in your life for that many years. I've been listening to We Came as Romans for 10 years now.
Yeah, man. I think I got it in right when To Plant a Seed came out. I remember hearing it, and I was like, "This is such a great record." It was such a positive shot in the arm. Not only was it heavy and it had those really, really crazy breakdowns and those hard vocals, but it also had that melody and that positive vibe to it.
Just jam out in your car and you just get your friends and you all know the words and you just
you're singing it together, man.
It's all about positivity. That whole album.
I always wish I would have saw them live.
I never got the pleasure of seeing them live either.
It's a shame.
Yeah,
that's a shame. You just it's not what you want to hear. It's not you never want to wake up to that news especially when it comes to anybody, friends, family, your favorite artist, whoever.
About that because they've been a band I have liked for a long time. One of the first bands I really started getting into when I started listening to metal. So.
So in some different news than artist passing, more upbeat, but sometimes not good news. Treyu announced a new album. Let's get right into it, talk about some new music. And we checked out some old and some new Treyu today. We were listening to them. I've been into those guys since the early 2000s. And I'll say this about them. I really dug them when they first came out. In that youth, I think I was maybe 16 to 18 at the time. And we chucked out a song from their first record, Suicide Notes and Butterfly Kisses. The song was Lip Gloss and Black. Grab some YouTube videos just to show you guys a little bit. For Senior De Niro here, he hadn't heard them in a while, so we played a song off the last album, Becoming the Bull. And immediately we all agreed. It kind of sounded like some classic Atreyu, maybe
Absolutely,
from second, third album era, man. But then we listened to a new track from the upcoming release they're talking about. It's called In Our Wake. And
got about a minute and 21 seconds into it before we had to shut it off.
yeah, it kind of sounded like pop rock. I didn't like it at all.
I'm not a fan. It did not grab me at all.
No.
It sounded just like any other rock band. I mean,
Yeah.
it had nothing to it. It was just kind of flavorless. There's no better way to say it. You know?
That's a good way.
Atreyu's always had this flair, this kind of like speed. You know, they kind of have this speed with lots of like riffs.
Seemed like something you could really chant along with, man. But this seemed like like it would almost be like one of those R&B songs. One of those guys like they hire a band to play behind them. That's just got a little edge to it. Like I don't know, man. It just was. It didn't sound like them to me. Maybe I'm a little biased because I have got out of them over the years. To be fair. But when I saw there was a new record, I always want to check things out. I always want to be non-judgmental. But this gets a judgmental stamp from me. At first, I'm gonna give it 4 farts out of 5. I wasn't even a fan.
Right? No,
man. I rarely turn things off early.
It sounds exactly like a band that sold out.
I didn't like it.
It does absolutely. Someone's money
they're
is
trying to get that mainstream
genre.
appeal with this album. And
Absolutely.
it just kind of flops. I mean, you can try to go that mainstream without really losing touch with what you were,
Yeah, I guess you can. But we were arguing about metal a little while ago, just in that same arena about bands that made it and didn't. You actually brought up a good thing, which I can talk about a little here because we're local podcasts and we like to talk about some of the local shows coming. And I've seen recently, I'd have to double check the dates if you wouldn't mind. Killswitch,
December 4th.
Killswitch Engage is coming to Lynchburg, which is right down the road from us, man. And
right.
We had talked about it and. I was just casually mentioning. I was like, "Oh yeah, I really like the first album, man. I really like that. Alive, Just Barely Breathing. I think a lot of people did. It was really fresh at the time. Then when Howard took over and came in there, man, and into Heartache, all that stuff. I like that stuff. Yeah, man. He's a fucking fantastic front man. He is always just.
Did you see recently that he actually joined them on stage to sing the End of Heartache with them? And
yeah,
I was just like, that is just really cool.
Imagine being a fan up front for that show and not knowing that's happening.
Dude, man. I would have loved to have been there.
You would piss your shit.
I really wish they would do a tour. Like if Howard was, Howard's got his new band. I think it's Light the Torch or something like that.
I believe so. Did they had a different name, didn't they? It wasn't like the Devil and I or Kill Devils. It was something weird about Devil.
Weird, but they changed it to Light the Torch.
I wish I knew. I feel like I'm uneducated.
But I really feel like they should just do a tour where it's Howard and Jesse.
That fucking record, man, was so good. That last album, Light the Torch. Have you listened to that?
Which one?
Light the Torch. Have you actually checked that out?
I haven't checked it out.
Give it a listen. I think you'll enjoy it. Yeah, if you're a Howard fan, I think you will.
Howard.
But that Killswitch conversation led us into you, man.
I mean, there are with every album that I've ever tried to listen to Killswitch, man. There is.
You better watch what you say because I'm sure Vitamin Nick's a big fan. He's gonna hear this.
I know, man, and there's certain things I have to apologize in advance for, but at the same time, brutally honest, man, there are aspects of Killswitch that I enjoy, but there has never been something that just fully holds me through the song, let alone the entire album. I just can't. I cannot get through an entire Killswitch album. There's no way. They do draw things out a lot.
Yeah,
we talked about that before, man, and I
there's quite a few bands that do that.
It's
like it gets to a point where it gets to a certain point of the song, I'll just skip to the next one.
Absolutely,
that's how I fucking felt about that Atreyu we were just trying to listen to. I was I'm ready for what's next, and I don't even know what it is.
Absolutely,
yeah.
I love albums that
Like,
I
I'm
can
actually
put
going to
in
hit
and play.
back on it right now because it's still paused on the YouTube thing just so we don't accidentally have to hear it again.
Right.
You know?
Thank you for that. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that so
It's
much.
fucking bad, man. It
Another
wasn't
band
good.
I
that,
mean-
that does the whole dragging out thing, I feel like, is Trivium. I mean,
Ooh, really?
Listen to the Sin in the Sentence, and there's just certain songs on that album that just feel like it drags.
Might be a little too
on.
long.
I like. There's certain songs that are like 7 minutes, but like if you really like listen to the song, there's just some repeating riffs, and it's like, you really could have made this a 5-minute song. Like, I don't know. Like you tried to add some fluff to the album, and it just, I don't know. There's certain songs off the Sin in the Sentence I just kind of skip to the next part once it gets to a certain point because it just becomes the same thing.
That's an interesting complaint. I've never heard anyone make that complaint about Trivium. It's
I mean,
almost like
I love the album. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's
I
a fucking
absolutely
fantastic
love that
record.
album.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
But I felt like
It's really
there was
good.
certain parts of
That's
that
it.
album that just kind of, I can't really think of examples right off the bat off the top of my head, but definitely some of those songs just drug on.
That's a fucking good point. It almost feels like, because I've heard people say that about that record. Actually, I haven't heard anybody say that specifically, but I've heard like some people be like, this song's a little long. Like I've listened to that record with friends, and they'll listen to most of a song and skip.
Yeah.
Listen to most of a song and skip. Like I guess maybe that.
And I'm not the type of person to do that often. Like,
No.
I really have to be turned off by a certain part of a song for me to skip.
I'm a skipper. I will get into a mood for hear something, and then I'll really think of something else in the middle, and I'll pop to the next song. And,
I usually don't.
I imagine it's annoying to people, but
Yeah.
I usually don't keep things in my playlist that I don't fully enjoy all the way through. Like I always listen. If I listen to a band, I listen to an album. And if I can't get through that whole album, that's generally not something I tend to put in my playlist that I listen to on daily. Like I only listen to things that I can listen all the way through any album.
yeah.
I'm not generally the person that just likes one or two songs off the album. If I don't like at least 90% of an album, I
It
just
doesn't
don't
get
like
full
it.
room on your thing.
Yeah. But
That's crazy. That's crazy because I've never looked at it like that, man. Because I will take a couple songs. Like I have a massive Chimera playlist, and it's just like 3 or 4 songs off each record that I like.
Yeah.
And I can listen to those whole albums because they're fucking solid.
I mean,
have several
I love
playlists
the
that way.
whole.
Absolutely. Lamb of God is one of mine.
Yeah.
Like I have.
You can jam the whole thing of Sacrament, but you can pull 5 tracks off there and mix them with
easily.
5 other tracks and
Dude,
have a great
if I
fucking
put on-
day.
Absolutely.
If I put on Ashes of the Wake, that bitch isn't coming off.
Dude, as the Palaces or Ashes, they just stay start to
Sacrament,
finish. Yeah.
Ashes, New American Gospel, as
That album doesn't strike me, New American Gospel. I don't know what it is about it, but it just doesn't pull me in.
I think
It's
it-
got
it had
got
a
some
lot
great
more-
tracks on it.
It has some great tracks.
I'm not-
on it,
yeah,
but
definitely
I feel
not
like
down
it was
in it, but-
very underproduced. Like it's kind of really clunky. It feels like it just
Sound
kinda has
doesn't
that really,
sound, production
really
quality. I
distorted
think can
sound
matter,
to it.
but that doesn't feel like that's my complaint about that one. I don't know. The song just doesn't grab me as much. I feel like when As the Palaces Burn came out, they really found like their groove, their
Yeah.
niche, man, and I think they just got better and better and better and
I mean,
better.
Black
So-
Label's just a classic. That's
great.
the one
Yeah.
reason I love, Lamb of God.
Yeah, I remember the first time I seen them, they played that fucking Vigil. I was like, "Oh God, where's Satan?"
What an amazing track.
Dude,
Vigil
live, that shit
is-
was scary.
Is
And we're gonna have the pleasure of seeing them in a week at the Blue Ridge Rock Fest.
Yeah, I can't believe that. I wasn't planning on going, but man, they put a killer sale on them things, man. We got them for like no money.
Got a steal. That
Jealous.
was a steal.
I'm a little jealous. I did just see them. I did just get to see them with the Slayer farewell tour for the third time.
We talked about that last time,
Yeah.
man. We went to that. That was a good.
that was
yeah.
my third Lamb of God.
That was
show.
my third Lamb of God.
That was my second.
That was my
And
third
they're
one.
fucking incredible.
Blue Ridge will be
My
third.
second time seeing them was with you. Actually, we saw them with Metallica.
Metallica and Gojira.
Ooh, I've seen them
Ooh, I
like
need to
3
go
or
see
4
Gojira.
times, dude.
Gojira
I will do it.
opened.
I will do it
Yeah.
because like
As
they
soon
are
as they
one
go
of.
on tour anywhere close to here, I'm fucking going.
Did you hear about their newest album they're making?
I have not.
I don't mean to get all high pitched and about it, but I'm not kidding, dude. I was reading an interview and I wish I had it right here, but like there wasn't a whole lot of info in it. But he said something about like they have like almost 100 songs right now.
Oh yeah, I
Incredible.
read that too.
It's fucking insane.
they are just masters of the craft.
Dude, yeah, from anybody who wrote From Mars to Sirius, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. Like, if
Which
you,
is
like, to
an
me, that's
incredible
the most
album.
perfect metal record that's been ever fucking released, man. I'm like, but, yeah, anytime.
Flying
That's an
Whales.
album, I don't care. I won't pick songs off that one. I will start it at Ocean Planet and end it at the end. Yeah, every
global
time.
warming.
Just
Well,
fucking go through
I don't
it.
know if you remember or not, but when we saw Gojira and they opened,
Yeah.
you know, their sound was terrible. Their sound tech was
I remember
awful.
they were not top notch first
I
time
remember
seen.
going into the breezeway and going to get beer and hearing people just be like, that band, I don't know who they were fucking awful. You know, they were terrible. And I was just like, whoa. I was like, let me just describe something to you. Let me just lay this out for you real quick. I was like, do yourself a favor. When you get home, you pick up any Gojira album that's out right now and listen to it. And you will love it. And then you can realize that it's the sound guy's fault.
Yeah,
and
dude.
not this band. But it was like the third
You
or
had to keep
fourth
telling
time
people,
they
look,
had
man,
played
just-
in this country.
Please don't take this. Just
Yeah, please
take
don't take
the
this.
Pepsi
Listen to the
challenge,
album.
man. Take
Listen
the
to the
Pepsi
album.
challenge and fucking try them out.
Yeah, realize that their sound guy should have been fired that night. And if he wasn't, Jesus, what the fuck?
I mean,
What's going on?
Those sound guys are just people that they hired, like the actual venue hires to do that.
You know who their sound guy was? You remember the caddy from Happy Gilmore?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the sound guy.
Really?
It was that fucking bum that he hired to be his caddy in the fucking end. I'm telling you, it was awful.
You know what's funny?
And I'm not even, and I love them. I absolutely love Gojira, and I'm telling you,
Man.
the sound there. And I told these people when I heard this, I was like, you know what? If this had been the first time I'd ever heard Gojira, I might have the same outlook because it sounded very bad. And to follow it up was Lamb of God, and I'm telling you, they sounded so incredible in John Paul Jones Arena that it was like sitting in your car with the full on stereo, and it was beautiful, man. It was wonderful. You could feel it, you could hear it. It was incredible. And then, not to mention Metallica, which I wasn't extremely excited about at first, but I'll tell you, they played an amazing show. Blew me away.
It was the first time they played Trapped Under Ice in America in 18 years.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, pretty fucking wicked watching that shit,
incredible
man.
show, man.
Great sound. And I got excited because they opened up with like 2 songs off, it was right after Death Magnetic came out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let me give you a short story on this. I was never... All right, that's incorrect. I grew up a huge Metallica fan. But like everyone, I got disenfranchised when Saint Anger come out because it was a heaping pile of fucking shit.
Oh my god.
And
Can snare.
yeah, and like
Reload fell off. Load started.
no, man,
Reload.
no. I won't even say that because I'm a Metallica fan, and
I
I'll
am
say
too.
Load and Reload are good albums.
I have
Reload not
favorites
so
from
much,
those.
but Load's a good album.
Load's
Load's a good album.
Good songs off the
What
album.
was that? Why'd I get a look?
There's good songs from the album.
Why'd I get a look?
I
I just wanted to see your response to that.
No, I'm being honest. Like, it took me years to actually be able to admit this. Like,
Good response.
yeah. It took me years to be able to admit it, but no, I like Load. I like Load a lot. Reload, yeah, it had some dips in it, and there was definitely, you could tell that they were kind of maybe getting that maybe a creative pull. But then that Saint Anger came out, and it just didn't need to.
no,
but
it absolutely did.
Death Magnetic
No.
felt to me, and I've probably been over this, and we're at 41 shows now, so I've probably been over this, but briefly, blah blah blah. Here's why I appreciated that night so much, because when Death Magnetic came out, they opened with 2 songs off it. When that record came out, it felt like such a good compromise to me, from like Metallica being like, "Hey, look, we're never going to be able to go fully back to playing like we used to." We're
Right.
older, our musical tastes are different. We got new members in the band, like our creative process. Even that, everything's changed.
Absolutely.
We're different men.
Absolutely.
But we're going to compromise, and we're going to try to put out a fucking heavy, hard-ass record that our fans can appreciate and that new people who got into us in this era can like too. And I think that they successfully did that. It might not be a perfect record, but I think Death Magnetic, to me, it's an 8 out of 10 for me. Like, for what I thought they were going to put out and what I actually got, I'll give it credit where credit's due. It made me want to go to that show real bad. I really wanted to buy tickets, and then they announced Gojira was opening, and I fucking love goddamn Gojira. So I fucking credit carded 2 tickets and went.
right.
But their set, they opened 2 songs off the new record. They were great, and I was just waiting for something to just make me have that moment, dude. And the third song was Creeping Death, and I remember flipping the fuck out. Like, just flipping the fuck out like a fucking 5-year-old little boy, like, screaming like a girl. Like, I was with old Lumberjack Ben, and he was next to me doing the same thing. Like, Ben T fucking screaming like a little girl.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Like, I mean, dude, it was absolute chaos. So, I mean, like, Metallica was able to pull that reaction. So, yeah, like, there's a lot of cool things about it, but Gojira is definitely, he's right about that. As good as Metallica sounded, as good as Lamb of God sounded, because Lamb of God are always, the production is the pinnacle of fucking, dude, like, when we saw him back in June, like,
Incredible.
when they played Black and the Curse and Sun, man, he had that crowd chanting with that fucking, those chants at the end, like, I was like, this is what metal's all about. Those are negative words with positive reinforcement from the audience. It's magical.
After that last time we saw
Yeah.
Lamb of God with Slayer, every time I listen to Lamb of God, my neck hurts. I just went fucking nuts the whole time. Like, I just flipped out.
That whole night was good. Anthrax all
I mean,
over.
I'd seen them the year before with Slayer.
Every bit of it. So.
But Lamb of God just put on an amazing
Before we
show.
get, the rehash all that again, but like we were talking about, they sounded great. Lamb of God, Metallica, all that. But Gojira, he's right. That night they didn't have that quality to them, the sound quality. But I'll say this: a few years later, I got to see them at a place called the Tabernacle in Atlanta, Georgia, and I got to be front row for this too. I got videos online. I actually share one from YouTube to the page. I got a really good a video of their opener of that show.
Yeah.
The production was incredible, crystal clear.
Great to hear.
I mean, I'm not kidding,
That's
man.
great to
you
hear.
know, and like they have just. And they just headlined a major festival. I think it was Bloodstock. Was that it?
Oh, yeah, and everyone was just amazed.
Yeah, and they had an
at
hour
what
and a
they did.
half set at Bloodstock, and it was supposedly one of the greatest metal performances. Like, I mean,
Love to see that.
it's getting reviews for this one performance. Like Gojira headline. I mean, that's getting major coverage through metal sites. That's a pretty big deal
Love
for
it.
a band that, like, a lot of people were like, I don't know who they are, but a lot of people were like, oh, you need to.
Yeah, you absolutely need to know.
Like,
who
I
they
can't
are.
scream loud enough about these guys.
Absolutely.
Like, and people were like, well, they knew, and you're like, no.
Not at all.
They've got Terra Incognita, The Link from Mars to Sirius,
Like,
The Way of All Flesh,
A large discography of
The Way of All
just
Flesh.
amazing work.
Oh man,
Magma. They got 6 albums, six, and then the EPs in between of it. Like before they came out, when they were still known as Godzilla, they had straight death metal EPs. I mean, these guys have been around 20 plus years at this point, and they're still young men.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to give in their community. And like I'm telling you, you want to follow a band that's going to be there Metallica heavy in the future. Like with that, I think that they're going to be one of those bands.
So let me ask
Absolutely,
you.
yeah.
I saw an article somewhere talking about pretty much, with Slayer retiring, it's time to start thinking who is going to be the next headlining acts that every metalhead should go see. And I want to know what you would pick.
What, me?
Like, who is going to be the most popular
Oh,
bands
man.
in metal? Who are going to be the forerunners? For me, it'd be Gojira, Lamb of God.
I think them for sure. I don't know about Lamb of God. Like I feel like Lamb of God at some point in the future. I think that they're going to go do a different thing. I think they're going to not split up in a bad way, but I think that they're going to go on a hiatus to do side projects. You know, I think that that's somewhere in the next 5 to 10 years. That's a thing. I don't know if there's going to be a Lamb of God like on that
Well,
scale.
we can only hope.
Well, I mean, look at bands like them. Like, I'm not comparing the quality of the music, but I'm comparing the popularity to it. Like, you can look at a band like Korn. Like, Korn's been around since the early '90s,
Yeah.
and their popularity, they've had a consistent career.
Uh-huh.
But then look at another band that I would say would be tantamount popular, like in the new metal scene, regardless. Because a lot of people look at metal, they say, "Oh, that's not good." You can't look at metal and go, quality of the music compared to the popularity. That don't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of metal bands out there that are technically more quality and more talented than Metallica is, but Metallica is always going to be the apex
Because
of
their
popularity.
music was so accessible to so many people.
It's not even. I think that
I feel like
accessibility is a big thing, but like, look at this.
It's about having a broader audience to be able to listen and enjoy it.
How
Like,
popular were Limp Bizkit and System of a Down?
very popular.
Megastars.
Like,
They can headline
huge.
festivals. Yeah.
like I think System of a Down sold out a country.
Like,
when they played in Armenia, like that. Like the whole country was pretty much.
They just
there.
shut down. Let's just shut the fuck down and go watch this.
Huge ocean of people.
You know, like all right, so you look at those bands like there, and then look at like where they're at artistically and creatively. Like
System
Limp Bizkit still gets together and plays.
the new System of a Down album is just not going to happen.
And it seems that there's a mega conflict. You're not a fan?
Not a fan of System of a Down.
Dude, me and Nick had this discussion in the early episodes of the show, and I got metal homework, and it was to go back and listen to Toxicity.
Yeah.
And I liked it a lot more than I admitted I did. No, hear me out. I'm not a big fan of them either.
Ugh.
I don't like really anything they put out afterwards. I might have liked a couple songs off Mesmerized, Hypnotized, whatever. I didn't like Steal This Album at all. I loved the first record. I thought it was creative and new and neat. I loved that song War, Pluck, all that cool shit off there. I was a fan of that, but I was never a big fan of them. So I get what you're saying, but why? Why are you not?
The vocals are the lyrically, and just the vocals themselves. I know he's an accomplished singer, and people give me this argument all the time. Well, he sang opera. Go fucking sing opera.
Yeah,
because what you're doing to metal right now, what you're doing to this band's music, because I don't have a problem with the music.
You definitely should go listen
don't
to
have a
the
huge
solo
problem
stuff.
with the
The
music.
solo stuff is actually really good.
I just can't. I don't. It does.
I gotta.
And it's one of those things. It's one of those things that I can't. It's not really an opinion. It's one of those things that just strikes you.
Yeah.
You know that
It's a pet peeve.
I don't like it.
It's a pet peeve.
I don't like it. You know what I mean?
feel like System of
Well,
Down
that's a
is-
strong statement because you also said, not to interrupt you, you also said you think you shouldn't do it to metal. I got to disagree there because avant-garde metal is good for music. Because those style of vocals are going to pull in people that otherwise wouldn't be into certain metal. Like, you have those people out there, they have that closed mind where they go, all it is rah, 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 it's all. But then they hear that and they come into it. And
I mean, they do call it
and
gateway
then they
metal.
slowly progress.
They do call it gateway metal,
which you may be offended, but that's the same thing. That's the same thing Death Punch is.
They're
in the same vein.
Absolutely is.
That's
No,
what
I
I'm
agree
about to
with
say.
that.
Five Finger Death Punch is one of those starter bands. It's not
Yes.
a band I like because they're overly generic, and I just
It's not
the whole
for
thing
me.
is just,
Yeah.
it's
But
not
they
for
fit
me.
in that same vein, I feel.
And see, and that's
But
the thing is, I do
also,
like.
They also
Five
bring
Finger
new
Death
people
Punch.
into the music.
You
and
know what I mean?
That I can appreciate to a degree.
And I love their attitude on stage, their presence, and the way that they treat people at their show.
Yeah.
It's very great. I love to see that in metal shows. I love to see that. I've been to a big variation of genres of music and different styles of shows, and I've seen fist fights and just stupidity everywhere. And I've never been to I've been to I can't even count how many metal shows I've been to, and never really had a major incident that was just because of stupidity. You know what I mean? Little squabbles here and there, but no major incidents. And those guys bring in, you bring your kids on stage,
Yeah.
for the next generation.
I love it. I like that, but that's what I was saying. I mean, I get your opinion when you say that you hear System of a Down, you hear the vocal stylings, and I agree. That's a lot of why I don't like it too. A lot of that just doesn't rub me the right way.
Right.
I get that, but my disagreement is I don't think it's bad for metal. I think it's good for metal.
I don't think it's bad for metal per se. I just think it's one of those things that I can't change. I can't control. It's not a full-on opinion. It's just one of those things that you hear and you instantly know, like the new Atreyu song we just heard.
Yeah.
You instantly know, not for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not for me. Not at all. And go play it. That's fine. If they have fans that enjoy that and still want to follow them, that's fine. Or new fans that want to come onto that, that's fine.
It's just not your cup of
It
tea.
is definitely just not
man,
my
if
thing.
I
I'm
wanted
not
to-
going to sit here and bash them and say it's garbage.
No,
because
I
there are
will.
people
If
that
I wanted
enjoy
to
it.
sit around and cry about it, I would listen to that kind of shit. Like, it's not very good, but I get what you mean. But I don't think it's bad for metal. I don't
think it's bad for metal. I mean,
Yeah.
anything that people are doing musically, honestly, for me, that's not hip hop or pop country, I'm down for. Like, I'll just be honest. Like, I'm not a hip hop fan. The old school hip hop, new school, everything that I've heard that's new, it's not for me at all. I can't do it.
I listen to so many different types of bands and so many different little sub-genres of metal. And they're just some bands that just will rub me the wrong way with something that they'll write or what they'll play, and it's just I lose interest. But
Absolutely.
it doesn't mean I don't like that style of music because I'll listen to other bands in that style.
Absolutely.
Just,
Of course,
there's just
yeah.
some things that it's just not for you. And not everything is supposed to be for you. Music
Right.
is subjective, you know.
Absolutely.
What is garbage to you is probably gold to someone else. It's just, there's no right answer or wrong answer.
There's another one of those bands that's very popular right now that I just absolutely cannot listen to.
Who's that?
Avenged Sevenfold.
You know,
I get that.
Avenged
I'm not a
Sevenfold.
fan either. I saw them live
cannot-
2 years ago.
can't do it.
They headlined a festival. You know, I'm with friends, and you're thinking, I'm going to watch this because my friends want to see it. You know,
Right.
you go to things with people.
Right? Absolutely.
I
So,
liked Unholy Confessions, like that very first album.
I'm not
that
gonna lie, though.
metalcore album that they did. Like, I really liked that.
They actually are the reason that this exists right now because I went and watched them live and I hate them. I was not a fan. Like
Right.
I remember listening to them at first and I was like, this is okay. I'm not a huge fan. You know, back when they first came around, and then I heard that fucking Backcountry, and then I heard that fucking Seize the Day song years later, and I was like, I don't like this at all. I
Right.
don't like the vocals. Somebody showed me a really wicked cover of Walk by Pantera from them. That was really good. They did a lot of good job with that.
I did like that.
It was
that
good.
cover
It was
they
solid.
Have not.
It
And
was-
here's why.
Right now.
When I saw them live, dude, it was like watching like somebody who was like, oh, you could definitely tell. I was like, these guys were influenced by Metallica, Guns N' Roses, and Slayer. Like, they fucking get up there and thrash, and their guitarist is fucking crazy. It's full of energy. The songs sound good. The crowd chants along. Everybody's excited. It is a hellacious show. And I left out of there with a mega impression of them. And one of my first metal homeworks was to listen to their 2 newest records, and I did. And I was like, a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Because I went into it thinking, this might be pretty decent. Now, I don't want to listen to them again. I don't want to buy them. I'm not a fan. I'm not going to go see them live. If they're at a festival, I'll sit through them because they're not terrible. But they gave me an impression on what being non-judgmental is about. Avenged Sevenfold's metal. I just don't like them.
Absolutely.
And that's a
agree with
reasonable
that statement
explanation for it because they like at times they irk the fucking shit out of me. But you know, there's a lot of people out there, like a good friend of mine, who that's what got him into metal, and now he's loving Between the Buried and Me and Trivium and Die Art is Murder and all these really heavy, cool bands. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome because a band that I didn't like that I thought was going to turn people away from metal totally brought you into the deeper fold.
I mean, absolutely.
They're in
The way I
service
see
purpose.
it, if something brings someone into liking metal, I am all for it.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll 100% say that. You know, I mean,
And
yeah,
I do have friends that
It
are
may not be for
hardcore
me,
Avenged Sevenfold
but-
fans that just hate that I do not like them. But
yeah. I don't
just
understand
hate
that argument. Like, how can you not like this band?
Well,
like,
and
I mean,
you know what? A lot of people
I'm like,
give me-
dude, because I don't.
A lot of people give me the argument of like, you know, I don't like this band because the guitar riffs are catchy and they're not extreme. There's only 3 chords in this song, and it's catchy, and that's why I don't like it. And I'm like, you know how
Eat a
hard
butt,
it is.
fuck you.
Do you know how hard it is? Do you know how difficult
you-
it is to write a catchy song with only 3 chords that people enjoy? I mean, really,
Oh, it's so obnoxious, man.
but if you can write a, you know, it doesn't matter. I do like technical stuff as well, but it is hard to write It is hard to write tunes that people, vast majority of people, enjoy and will listen to.
I do not like this concept that like it has to be done a certain way.
I don't either.
Who gives a fuck?
I wanna
It's
hear
not
it. I
like
want the
if you
sound.
don't
No
like
one's
it, don't
forcing
listen
you
to
to
it.
listen to anything.
Yeah, I just want to hear it all come
No
together.
one's holding a gun to
You
your
know, I'll
head,
say-
just listen to it
I'll say
right
that
now.
too. I'll say that too. That we could say that, but a lot of times, like if you're like with people who don't want to listen to music, and you're listening to music with other people. Sometimes they have to hear it. That is a thing that does exist. Sometimes you have to sit through music you don't like.
Well, that's true.
Suck it up.
but
I do it. Like
suck
I'll do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Just
You know?
suck it up. It's a shitty song. You
Yeah.
don't have to like
It's
it.
3 minutes of your life, man. And, you know, unless, like, you absolutely hate BT Bam
Yeah.
and someone's like, listen to both Parallaxes, you might be a little annoyed. I understand that. But you
Someone-
shouldn't ever
they-
feel that way because they're terrific. Let's just say it.
Someone tells me that they don't like colors. I hate them a little bit more. But
Yeah. I'm like, oh, you
I don't
don't?
think they're wrong. I just don't like them as much anymore.
I mean, yeah, at that point, I hope they can't vote, but,
They obviously shouldn't.
yeah, you know? You at
Since that
least
is a
like White
goddamn
Walls, don't you?
masterpiece.
No, we're not friends. We can't be friends.
So what was your big up and comer? You think? What is your
Oh
pick?
yeah, we were talking about
What is your pick?
It's so distracting. The metal conversation.
Oh,
Ghost
absolutely.
is another one that I feel like is going to.
Ghost has a lot of good things going on.
Yeah, they got a lot of good things going on.
I don't even think they're an up and
They-
coming. I think they're there.
They're,
I
they're
think they're
just about
there.
there.
Yeah,
They're testing the waters with a big arena tour that they're about to do, And I feel like they are definitely up there to be that next big arena. Like, that's the question I'm basically asking. Who do you think is going to be those big, like, arena amphitheater metal bands that are going to be headlining, and there's going to be thousands of people there every single time?
I gotta really think about this. That is a tough fucking question. Because, I mean, like, what if a band, like, can get to that point but just doesn't? What if they continue playing, like, you know, medium to small venue shows because that's where they get the most impact?
Well, I don't feel like there's any shame in that.
No, I don't
at all.
either. I don't either. Like, I think that's a choice.
It's very hard to put in all that money into something like an arena tour. You got to be making some serious bucks, pulling it, raking in all the cash.
See, I'm
Like,
thinking
to
of
do
the
stuff
bands.
like that.
I'm thinking of the bands that are there that do that now. Like, I'm thinking of the bands like Lamb of God, like Death Punch, like Disturbed, like you know, that'll actually fill an arena up and sell out. Like, you know, I used to not be able. I still don't. I used to hate Papa Roach, but I watched those guys at a festival like clear a goddamn field of people. Like, not clear them, but I mean clear the opposite field into their field so they could, you know, fill. I mean, it was just a massive crowd. Like, people were one place and they were Papa Roach was playing, and they all migrated to go see.
Right.
Because those guys strike a chord with people.
Absolutely.
They don't with me, but they do. So I'm sitting here thinking of the
Like a lot
bands
of
that could
stuff,
fit
yeah.
that void. Like, and I like bands like Necrogoblicon and fucking. I listen to a shit ton of Chimera, even though they're broke up. I love Parkway Drive. I think that they could be a band that
Yeah.
could potentially reach that because they are absolutely
They
anthemic.
are pulling off some really crazy shows.
They are.
Yeah.
Like,
I saw them headline. I think it was a live stream. I forgot what festival it was, but they
Insane.
were headlining, and they had flames and just big flames, and the drum kit was spinning in circles and shit. And I was just like, that is fucking cool.
Nice.
you know,
Like,
out of this,
they're definitely a really good.
I
band.
think that out of this generation, I think that they're a good pick for a band that could absolutely make that
they're
plunge.
definitely making the right moves to
Yeah,
do that.
absolutely.
They're making their music more anthemic, and you know, a lot of people are upset with Reverence, and I personally love that album. The only thing that Parkway Drive did any different than they have in any other album that they put out is there's just not as many breakdowns, which is what Parkway Drive was really good at. You know, back 10 years ago when they were writing albums like Killing with a Smile, Deep Blue. Deep Blue is one of my favorites, but I listened to their sound and what they sound like now. It has not changed, honestly, except for there's no breakdowns.
Yeah, there's more.
It's more anthemic, and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
guitar
yeah.
riffs
That's
sound
what
the
I
same. They
noticed.
still have some really nice groovy riffs that just
I think they sound like the perfect Death Punch. I think they sound like
people
that.
have been comparing that album
Yeah.
to Five Finger Death Punch, and all I could say is just it sounds like if Five Finger Death Punch had talent.
Oh, that's a judgmental statement right there.
Call me what you want. I couldn't even sit through like one song.
No, we were at the festival and we were like, me and Narco were like, we're going to try
one
to.
song.
I'm going to try to do it because I'm trying to be non-judgmental. I even told you, I knew you guys were going to see me.
Oh,
Y'all
yeah.
would love it.
They really had to try to convince me to stay for even one song, but I sat there and I'm just like, I don't get
Dude,
it.
I thought
Yeah.
the shit they were,
I
dude.
don't
I
get
thought he got into the crowd. I gave a lot of credit to his voice. Like, from right off the bat, I was like,
It sounded good. It's just
yeah,
not
dude,
something I like.
his clean
Right.
vocals live
Are amazing.
fucking insanely
Amazing.
good. Yeah.
Yes,
I'm not going to
absolutely.
poo on it.
Absolutely.
How he got the crowd into it, how he was really getting into people's faces.
That is one of the biggest things with
You know,
them has
like
been how
honoring
they interact
like
with
military
the
and you know taking care of people. That's cool. I like
Absolutely.
you know like I'm a big fan of that stuff. Like that's awesome to do. But man, they just sounded so bad to me. I was like, I don't like their songs. So I left early because I figured I would beat the crowd walking to Godsmack because there's no way I wanted to go see that shit. You know?
crowd. Smack history.
Stay away.
Yeah, dude, I'm not going to stand there and listen. Yeah.
Go
They-
away.
Yeah, that was it. They told me to get back. I left.
Right?
No, like they put on a great show. It just wasn't for me. So
Right.
I didn't stick through it. But Parkway put on a show,
Oh yeah, that was killer.
and we were in that.
Oh, yeah.
we were kind of far back
can't
in the middle of the
imagine.
crowd,
I'd
but
love
you
to
had the pit in the middle and just this huge dust storm. Like
Yeah.
it got to a point where you just couldn't even see Parkway playing up there. There was just this huge
Wow.
dust storm.
So yeah, that would be the band that I would say could hit that level. I think that
They
they have
definitely
that
bring a lot of
opportunity.
energy. Yeah.
Bands
A lot
that
of
I
good things to
wish could hit that level.
Yeah, you can go for Wish.
Trivium, I think Trivium can do it.
Bands that could potentially do it, but it could also be bands that you really think... It has to be a band that you could actually see doing that. But you can pick whoever you want. I know that's a really tough question.
Attila keeps getting a good following if Franz would stop punching security guards
I
and
really
getting
wish that
tattoos
wasn't
on his
true.
faces.
I really wish that wasn't true.
Yeah,
I
I'm not-
loved Attila back early days.
Raging
Like,
Outlaw, dude.
Rage Outlaw. Soundtrack to a Party was pretty good. You know, it's a
I
really...
didn't like that one.
there was a few good songs.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bands that could possibly like hit that level. Like, you know, I mean, you never know where music's going to go. You know, one that I would. All right, so here's my wishful thinking before we get on with it. Here's my wishful thinking. I would love to see if there's a metal band that can transcend genres, even though they've never changed their sound. But in the past 20 years, they've went from being a niche appeal act that's kind of like an underground spoken tongue to being like householdly accepted, where now like 10-year-olds and 14-year-olds go to their show. I'd love to see Cannibal Corpse hit that. Because now, I saw them as a child and I saw them as an adult. And when I saw them as an adult, there were so many people in that crowd that you just wouldn't expect. Like, it just, you know, it wasn't long hair, greasy death metal heads. It was, you know, like, it was a hodgepodge of people, man, and like bringing their kids.
Right.
Yeah. Cannibal Corpse is
Wow.
like the mainstream death metal act, and I would love to see them guys be able to sell out civic centers. Because
That would be cool.
that artist selling out civic centers
would open up so many doors for other bands to be able to do that.
wouldn't it? Like,
It would.
and I'm telling you, like, go see Cannibal Corpse. Like, it's fucking nuts. It's like, this is different. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like it's almost like almost mainstream metal with a death metal skin. Like, I can't explain it. Like I've always felt that they were.
I feel like they definitely amassed quite the following.
Yeah, it's a different world now.
Like,
Because when
lot-
I went and saw them at
people
like
got exposed
16,
to it.
17 years old, there weren't kids in that crowd. There weren't that shit, dude. Everybody looked like they were fucking tweaking and on drugs. Like, there were the people you expected. Like, if you were watching like an 80s comedy film and it showed the greasy metalheads hanging out, that's where the kind of motherfuckers that were at the Corpse show.
Yeah.
And now you go, and there's like fucking like families and kids and mom and dads wearing their fucking butchered at birth shirts, like excited with their fucking like, you know, 10 years olds with them like pointing at the stage. And I'm like, that's what I've always wanted. That was me as a kid.
Yeah.
I want more of that. So that if that's my wishful thinking, that, you know, we could have them. I would think Cannibal Corpse would be the perfect fucking band to breach that metal gap.
Yeah, I feel like
Because if they can do it, if death metal can become like, this is okay, then I think anything's possible.
Oh yeah.
You know, because a lot of people were into that gent movement, but I think the gent kind of goes up and down.
It's definitely taken a dive.
It's definitely taking a dive, and it's solid. Like, but I think so many people started trying it because they thought it was easy that
Then
now
you-
you're getting
then
a
you
lot
had
of generic gent.
Then you had Meshuggah just a few weeks ago saying that they apologized for making
Yeah.
Jet. It's like,
But then, like, there's a band that me and Nick follow called Quiet Kind. Did you ever hear them? I need to get you this record, dude. That album is fucking incredible. And these guys kind of, you know, like, I'm not seeing them get the coverage they deserve. And I think it's because there's just such an oversaturation of it. And that sucks, dude. I'm telling you, I'm going to put this
it's
out for you.
become quite oversaturated.
You're going to love this shit. Like, you're going to like this a lot. And you're going to be like, this sucks that this isn't way up there. Like, these guys are nuts. They're so damn good.
Periphery is my favorite Jet.
Oh, Periphery's insane, dude. I like them, and I like, what's the other one that's...
They are a band that I honestly could feel like in a few years, like long down the road, if they kept working at what they're doing, and now they're going independent, where I feel like they're...
I don't think they've put out their best record yet.
I don't... Yeah, they have not even reached their peak. They're
And
not
that goddamn
close to-
3 is really good.
It's so good. It's only going to get better.
Yeah.
Now that they're away from Sumerian Records, now they're doing their own independent thing. Like Misha said, that we're recording it ourselves. We're actually
Which is
starting
nuts,
our own
because
rec-
Sumerian
they're starting
doesn't
their
seem
own
like they
label.
would be too strict on like that stuff.
Yeah.
You know? So
And he said there was a lot of like conflicting interests between them and Sumerian.
Yeah.
So they decided to do it on their own, fund everything on their own. They're starting their own label.
that's awesome.
But yeah, they're writing for now. Well, at least supposedly it's supposed to be P4, but I just can't wait. They're definitely a band I could see maybe 5-10 years in the future definitely being something that could get big. They have Spencer's cleans and just the heaviness of it. I feel like a lot of people can really get into that. Really nice melodies that just are really catchy overall. And I think 3 really showed that they could do that. They separated a lot of the songs. Like some of them were really catchy, melodic, sing-along songs. And some were just flat out heavy. And they got that Grammy nod for the Price is Wrong.
Yeah, I swear I thought it would have been Marigold. When I saw they were nominated, I was like, it's got to be Marigold.
Yeah, it's got it. I thought it would have been, but then I saw The Price is Wrong, and I'm like, really?
Okay.
Really? That is...
Somebody heard that and went, all right.
I mean, Meshuggah,
have you heard that
Meshuggah
shit?
was also nominated.
Ooh, you got to hear this. When I tell you, hey, listen to this Grammy-nominated song, you're going to be like, you're lying to me.
Meshuggah was also nominated that year, too.
Couldn't believe it. Meshuggah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was the year Mastodon wound up winning, I think.
Which is okay. It wasn't
I was perfectly okay with
Yeah.
it. I was fine with that. I'm just glad Periphery got nominated. I wasn't expecting an actual win when there were Megadeth actually won that year. It was Megadeth that they won that Grammy that year.
Oh okay.
Yeah, Megadeth wound up winning that, which
also
was
not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem with
Not
that
a problem.
Yeah. I'm excited. They're the last one I need to see of the big 4 of thrash, quote unquote.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
and when they come around, I'll definitely go in to see them.
Absolutely.
They were the band I had a problem with growing up too. I just had my judgmental opinion about it. And as I got older, I really began to appreciate it, and I feel like I missed a lot. So it's kind of fun to go back and listen to them for me.
Honestly, yeah. I growing up, man, I owned every Megadeth album there was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're definitely one of the cornerstones for my metal. Love those
absolute,
guys,
man. They're a treasure, for sure.
Very underrated.
Before we wrap up, man, it's been a fun little talk about metal. A couple things coming out. I don't know if you guys will hear it, but I definitely recommend the new Alice in Chains. Hearing some of that. You know, some people might not say it's metal. Fuck off. Listen, it's a good record. Deftones got a new album coming out. I'm always a big fan of the Deftones. Ever fucking since I was young. Plus, on top of it, I cannot Diamond Eyes. Like every time I think of Deftones, I just want to go back and listen to Diamond Eyes. If it's not anything, from the first 2 or 3 records. But they got a new one coming out. I don't think anything's been released off of it yet. But just keep a lookout for that, man. That's going to be a good time. Everybody loves the Deftones, and if you don't, eat a shit sandwich, dude. It's good stuff.
Definitely like some Deftones.
You know, I'm not trying to be judgmental about it, but I mean, goddamn Deftones. What do you say? Anything else you got? What you got?
I don't got anything. I think I've said all I had to say.
Yeah, it's been a good talk. We've been having a little bit of drinks, having some smoke. We've been enjoying a little bit of non-judgmental time.
Absolutely.
Being a little non-judgmental together here. It's been a nice Saturday evening.
It's been kind of rough. I had that little spat with the 5-finger death punch there. Got a little judgmental. Got a little bit, but I'll try to hold back on that.
I mean,
I'm trying to keep my system and kill switch comments too.
No, you got
hold
to
those out.
I mean,
sometimes
we're allowed
you gotta
to
be
have
judged.
our opinion.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Well, I mean,
I'm not trying to shit on anything. It really wasn't like a dig at them, but like Parkway just has a lot more.
That's the way I feel.
Oh,
but
yeah,
not every show we do has to be all like, hey, let's all be completely non-judgmental all the time. I mean, you got to be a little judgmental. Sometimes you just don't like shit.
Sometimes you just can't help yourself.
Disturbed's one of the biggest bands in the world. And I've said 100 times, I fucking cannot stand them.
Absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, I cannot stand them.
Cannot.
But you know what? If people want to go to the show and say I saw Disturbed, it was a good metal show, I'm not going to say that wasn't fucking metal and you're not metal for going that because they weren't sitting there. I don't give a shit, dude.
Right.
Like, did you have a fun time? Good, have a good time.
Absolutely.
Well, we got some hand-me-down tickets to 311 in Offspring. I'm going to go watch that. I grew up on that shit. That's going to be a good time.
I'd enjoy the hell out of
Yeah,
that.
dude, I love the Offspring. What am I going to say?
I love 311.
Oh, did you not go to a metal show? Was that not a metal show? What's wrong with you? Like, oh, well, I didn't go to a metal show, but I still had a good time. Eat butt.
I'll be honest, man. I mean, I do enjoy the Offspring, but
fuck yeah,
I was
dude.
a huge 311 fan as a kid, man.
Yeah.
Growing up,
I'm going to see him tomorrow.
Huge 311 fan.
Tomorrow. Me and Miss Serenity here.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a little jealous, man.
Yeah, you should be.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's,
You know? And at no point am I going to be sitting there folding my arms and stamping my feet. This should be a metal show.
Right.
You know? Goddamn metal show. Like, because you know what? Sometimes it's okay to be a little judgmental.
That's gonna be
gonna
be a fun show, man.
Yeah, man, have a good time. That's
Absolutely.
what music's about.
That's
Isn't
what
that
life's
the whole
about,
thing?
man.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
That's what we do. Sometimes we sit around fucking, you smoke a little, you have a good time.
Absolutely.
You talk a little bit, you just hang out with your friends, you get over your shit.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
You
It's
know?
definitely turned my night around.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You know?
Because you were on a one-way trip to downtown Fucktown.
Yeah.
And I said, just come over and have a little drink, calm your shit,
Yeah.
Get the fuck over your woes. Be a little judgmental.
Absolutely.
Throw some judgmental out there.
And it helped a lot.
You sat here, you said, I fucking hate System of a Down.
Dude.
Oh, I hate them! And you
God.
felt better. You got
Much
that
better.
aggression out of you, You exercise the demons.
Feel much better now.
It's fun.
Absolutely.
It's fun to poo on things.
Absolutely.
We've been doing that a long time. And sometimes you get caught and you gotta eat a little crow.
I mean, it happens.
Sometimes. But I don't think we're gonna have to eat crow on that. I'm not a big fan of fucking Disturbed. I'll never eat crow on that.
No, not at all.
They would look. And they did put out like a cover of that Sound of Silence, and I was like, that's pretty good, but it's not metal.
I gotta say,
So I don't feel bad about enjoying that.
I've heard people say, the Sound of Silence cover wasn't bad. To me, I don't think he's the vocalist for that song.
I don't think he is either.
I think
But I
he
still
just-
don't think the cover was bad.
I think it was. I think it was wretched.
You
I
know?
really.
He thinks it was ratchet.
It was wretched.
Was it
man.
ratchet?
It was wretched.
I think that's the first time we've ever said that on the show.
Wretched as fuck.
It was, dude.
Funny.
It is. Yeah, and I just as soon as I heard it, and I was like, let me not be this judgmental. Let me go back and listen to it again, and he's not the vocalist for that song.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I mean, that's how it is, man.
Yeah.
Some songs like you want to listen to, everybody tells you they're good, but when you go into it, it's like taking a big sniff of taint. You just don't want to do it.
Not at all. And I'm telling you, the only people that are going to hate me for that whole comment and this whole Disturbed conversation are going to be Avenged Sevenfold fans.
More than likely. They go hand in hand.
And I mean, sorry guys.
I just picture those people. I picture you talking about those people from South Park that every time they fart, were like shoving their head between their legs. They go, Like just,
got a champagne glass you farted
yeah. Take a sniff.
Smells so
I
good.
love my Avenged Sevenfold.
Right?
The stage wasn't that bad like everyone says it was. Did you hear their acoustic thing they did? Fucking cares. Sometimes you don't like shit.
It just happens, man.
I hate it when people can't tell me shit. Somebody told me one day, I was like, they were like, there's not too many metal albums that are actually funny. And I was like, Tenacious D. And they were like, that's not a metal album. Yeah, why? Like, I don't even think Guar's funny. I think it's just like, I think it's character. I think it's gimmicky, and I love it. I love it.
Absolutely,
I love it. We've talked about gimmicks, and no one's ever gonna tell me like, oh, you can't fucking gimmicks are shitty in metal. I was like, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck your opinion. Why can you say that gimmicks aren't important in metal just because you don't like them, dude?
Absolutely.
Somebody like when Angry Gordon was on here, he told me fucking Viking. Goddamn Amon Amarth weren't any good live, dude. And then I go and see him, and they're having like the dude's screaming off the bow of a ship while people are sword fighting with shields on stage. I was like, this is incredible.
Oh, they're amazing.
What the fuck is wrong with his eyesight? You know?
Are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
They are
Like,
incredible.
yeah.
I love them, man.
Yeah, I was so mad. I was like, what? I was so expecting like a bad thing. I was like, oh man, I've been so excited to see him on Amarth, dude. He got up there, Odin, guard our ships. And they were fucking clang, smack. And I was like, this is what fucking, there's nothing wrong with this in any way.
Not at all.
If you tell me I'm going to a metal show and I get to watch Vikings battle it out,
I'm enjoying that. I'm definitely enjoying that.
sometimes shit's cool, man.
Absolutely.
You know?
No problem with that.
Let me ask you this. Why do you watch Jurassic Park movies?
For dinosaurs. Man.
For dinosaurs.
Because
you don't watch it
dinosaurs.
because you're like, oh, I want to watch a compelling story tonight.
Right.
No, you want to watch dinosaurs stomp around.
You want to watch dinosaurs mindlessly tear through shit and people.
The old Godzilla movies, people didn't watch those because they were just like, I want to know how this one ends. Like, you knew how it was going to end. With monsters fighting.
I mean, if Jurassic Park was full of Kardashian drama, I would not enjoy it.
No.
You watch
enjoy
Friday
it.
the 13th, you don't watch that for the very deep and three-dimensional characters.
Yeah, right?
Let me find true romance hidden somewhere.
I really hope
Thrasher
Nancy
horror
and
film.
Thomas. I hope Nancy and Thomas fall in love before Jason gets them. Oh
Oh no, their love was cut short.
no! Sometimes you just enjoy shit because you enjoy it.
Absolutely.
You know. And I imagine that's why people like Disturbed and Subfolk, because they just enjoy it. And I'm cool with that. I don't think
Just
you're
don't be an asshole about it.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, like I can't stand those Death Punch people who are assholes about it. Like, yeah, because I'll tell people, I'll be like, yeah, I'm not a big fan. And they'll be like, what? You're not a big fan of one of the biggest metal bands that's ever existed? And I'm like, well, no, dude, I'm not. I fucking don't like their music. I don't like the fucking howly fucking bro metal that it is, where he's talking about, quit being a punk, bitch. Like, yeah, sometimes I don't like songs like that. But some of their stuff's really uplifting. Yeah, I like that I Apologize song. I thought that was a pretty good little message.
Amazing little story there, man.
Well, yeah, right,
I
exactly.
mean,
But
Bad Company
my whole
cover
point is,
isn't terrible.
Bad Company's great.
I actually enjoyed that cover.
Their House of the
they're a
Rising
great
Sun.
cover band.
That House
I
of the
will say
Rising
that.
Sun is a fucking beautiful cover song.
well, I mean, I didn't mean for us to get all sucking their dick, but I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is with
they're
people,
a great cover band, but
Sure.
they're not a great band.
But
Like they can't create
I would
their own
almost
music
prefer
well.
an actual fucking dickheaded, like, metal elitist sitting around like, well, there's not enough, like, the you know, fucking the talent there. It's not talent, it's not fast, I'd rather one of those idiots than someone like, you just don't understand the simplicity of it. Like,
You just don't understand how complex this stuff is.
yeah. I'm like, yeah, I do. He's appealing to a young angst, like, to sell records, and it's working, and he's doing it, and it's
He's
positive,
also-
and it's a good thing.
Well,
They,
and
they
you know,
also
the thing-
really pander to like Army veterans and things like that.
Yeah,
too.
which
he-
is cool.
Which is cool.
That's cool to me.
He is,
but don't
but
give me
he
shit for
is
not
a
liking
veteran.
it.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know,
not a veteran, so
he is
don't.
a veteran,
if I don't
you know.
get into that same message, I guess don't hold it against me.
Right. Well, he is a veteran. You know, he was, I believe, Marine Corps. So I mean that is good. But you know, he had a vision from the start, and that's why the guitarist discrepancy, you know, from the beginning. That's why he's gone, and that's why, you know, this whole thing started. But he wanted, you know, that's what American Capitalist was about.
Yeah.
You know, if you listen to the lyrics and the songs on that, you know, he's basically saying, you know, fuck you, I'm here to sell records.
I like the
I
tragic
want to
truth
make
off that
music that
album, and
people
it wasn't
enjoy.
even on that album. It was like a bonus on it.
Right.
It's the only song I liked off of it.
So I mean, he had a goal, and they've achieved it. You know, they have done what they've set out to do, and it is a gateway metal, man. But I do enjoy a lot of it. But you know, there's some of it. You know,
Hey, that's cool, and I don't hate you for it.
Yeah,
you know?
that's
like,
what I'm saying. It's
Just
metal.
don't be
Get
a dick.
along.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick to me, and I won't be a dick
Exactly.
to you.
My
Yeah.
friend Bubba at the festival, he sat through the whole thing. He said, "I'm gonna watch all Death Punch. I'm a fan. I'll leave before Godsmack." Because I was like, "Hey, yeah, man. You know, I'll see you tomorrow." I wasn't like, "Well, you and your fucking wife are dumb. You shouldn't stay here and watch
Right.
that." Like,
Absolutely.
who the fuck?
You guys
like,
don't listen to
Enjoy
true
it.
metal.
Right?
yeah,
Just enjoy it.
you're gonna stay through Death Punch. See ya, bro.
Enjoy your shit sandwich.
Yeah. Who the fuck am I? Like, man.
I'm no one to judge you for what you like. Just don't be a dick to me. I won't be a dick to you.
Yeah.
We can live our lives.
You can even like
perfectly-
this new Atreyu song, and I still think you're a cool
As long
guy.
as you like metal, I'm cool
Absolutely.
with
Yeah.
you. Just don't be an asshole to me about what you like and what I like. You know, because music is subjective.
It's getting to the point people like and disliking each other. Shit's pissing me off. It's like one day I'm going to be like I'm going to meet somebody and they're going to be like, "Oh, I don't like Seven Dust." Someone's going to be like, "Oh, it's because the singer's black." I'll be like, "Now it's getting too far. It's getting too far. Shut the fuck up.
YouTube
Right.
comments are
You're nitpicking
cancerous.
shit." Yeah, they really are. Like, it's getting to the point where like they're just people are dragging.
Whoever invented the comment section should be hung until dead.
Yeah.
Hung by the neck until dead.
Right. Yes,
like I was about to
wanna
say
even-
that example is I didn't like Seven Dust, and I can't even say those words because I fucking love Seven Dust.
And then
Oh my
and then
God.
there's
Oh,
a thing
yeah.
about YouTube that I really despise them for, as well. And I know you disagree with me on this, but
What's that?
there's a video that they fucking just recently have banned that I did enjoy quite a bit.
Which one?
And I know you don't agree with me, but that Kill 'Em All video by King A1L.
Oh yeah, we talked about that on
I
here actually.
fucking love that song, man, and I like the video, and it was all fucking true. It was all real footage, but somehow it's a hate speech, and now it's banned, from YouTube, which is just a disgrace.
It was a compilation of like a bunch of videos that you could just find on the internet.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like
And
I've seen a lot of them before.
Absolutely.
When I saw the video, I was like, "Oh, I've seen that one."
and it was
before.
raw footage,
Yeah, it was
of
real.
actual
Like
crimes.
those were people actually getting shot.
Absolutely.
and actually dying.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I like those guys a lot, man. But I know you disagree with me. I know you don't.
well, it's not whether I
I-
disagree with you or not. Their video shouldn't have been cut.
I definitely.
I like some
definitely
of their
agree with you,
songs.
yeah.
I feel like they definitely fit in with like the rap scene because
Like,
their
it was-
music's very poetic. Like it goes in a very
Well,
You,
rhyme
you ever have
scheme.
you heard the new Body Count record?
I have not.
Dude, it's fucking great. But that No Lives Matter song, where he talking about how if you talk about all lives matter, you're diminishing the issue of Black Lives Matter, all that. Like that could be, I guess, couldn't that be contributed as possible hate speech? Like the
I
whole
mean,
song,
it
like talking
absolutely
about
can.
hate against the poor and shit, and how
It-
it's not real. Like racism's real.
It
And he's
can.
right. He's not saying anything that's incorrect. He's
Not at all.
100% correct about everything, and it's not. The song's not inciting it. But I'm saying like all that speculative and opinion a lot of times, unless you're flat out actually saying like, I fucking want to kill certain people because they're different fucking this than me. Like
Absolutely.
that's hate speech,
Right.
Like
But I mean, in the title, it's "Kill 'Em All." Metallica's first album was "Kill 'Em All."
yeah,
It's
we
not
gotta
banned from YouTube.
get it off the shelves.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's not. It's
I
not.
mean, if people could understand the lyrics to a Cannibal Corpse song, that shit would be banned
Right.
too, because that would be the same exact thing.
But they got them posted on the videos. You can read the motherfuckers.
Yeah.
They're right there.
But that one's banned because it's hate speech.
I don't get
know.
it.
I don't get it either. It's I'm fully against censorship. and
Well, because I don't think a lot of people can
Absolutely.
distinguish between hate speech and music, and like someone making a metaphor or trying to, put out a message or trying to be satirical about it. It's just everything now is definitive. It's finite. You said it, and that's it. There's consequences, and that's a big fucking deal. We've talked about that before. I disagree with a lot of it because I think that like if things like that are attacked on a satirical scale, and they want to take away the ability and I'm assuming that video, and like I said, I'm not a fan of them, so I never really watched it. But I'm assuming that video is not inciting hate speech. It's probably a message against it in an angry way. Like a lot of the times that's what those political
The
stances
song
are.
is mostly about like him growing up in Flint, Michigan.
Right. Absolutely.
Murder Town. That's the nickname of the place. It has the highest murder rate in
Anywhere.
all of
So
the
he's
US.
talking about a bad situation and
It's
make it. So
like some of the
Anybody
lyrics are
that
actually things
opposes
he's
you.
experienced.
So it's not
gotten
a
robbed.
political statement.
He's gotten
it's-
robbed where he got stabbed and shot twice.
So he's telling a story.
There was a part.
is
in
he
the song-
telling people in it that you need to kill everybody around you?
It was the life that he grew up
Who
in.
opposes
That's what,
you?
Yeah.
Your enemies are your enemies, and you have to fight to survive.
Yeah, it was. The song
So
was about
anyone
him
that
growing
opposes
up
you,
in
kill
Flint,
him.
Michigan, and what he had to do to survive.
Yeah, because they're going to
And-
kill you if you don't kill them.
Are they pulling the Acacia strain off YouTube?
No.
Then that's
No.
bullshit.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
100%
like it's just like, dude, angry music's angry music, and when you attack it at that level, I definitely, man, I get against
And
it.
Vincent,
It's a heavy
and
conversation.
Vincent of the Acacia strain has probably said it the best. He's just like this. We provide a negative environment for people to unleash that negative energy.
That's just-
Like,
yeah.
it's just as therapeutic for us as it is for them.
That's
And
nuts.
we provide them a safe environment for
That's
them
nuts.
to do that.
Yeah.
And and that's a bad thing. You want people to have that built up negativity and unleash that on the world. Instead of that, they're coming here and unleashing it here so they can go home feeling better.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And I fully
Oh.
agree with that. Every time I go to a metal show, if I've been having a bad week, I go to a metal show, it's all gone.
Very therapeutic.
All gone.
yeah, definitely, man. It can change a lot of things, like just that experience being in a positive environment with positive people, even just unleashing that that pent up stress and aggression. That's absolutely right. So, yeah, no, this is a heavy argument, man. We'll have to save it because we've had it on the show many times. But
It's
yeah,
something
like
that could be argued back and forth until the end of time.
yeah. I mean, like but it's prevalent in our world today, and now it's affecting our music too. Like there's like censorship's a real thing, and not just censorship anymore, but like opinionship. Like people are just calling out things like this is what it is. And
if you don't think the way I think, then you're fucking stupid.
And even the people who are making it are going, no, that's not what it is.
Way too.
They're waving it with orange flags. No, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. Here's what it's about. And people are still going, no, I know more than you. And that's, I don't know. Well, get all out of it.
We're getting way off track.
Way off track.
Way
on
off track.
The more people holler, like scream for tolerance, the more they want to ban and censor everything. We want tolerance, but we want censorship.
Bah,
Yeah,
fuck 'em.
what a mind fuck that is, right?
Yeah, the only thing I can
That's another
say.
thing we can keep going back and forth. We keep saying this one thing. It's like a never-ending.
The only thing I can really say about it is to
That's
fucking
one of
kill
those-
them all. So let's
Kill 'em all.
Kill them all. Just fucking kill
That's
them
one
all.
of those arguments that you could literally just go back and forth until the end of time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No one could be right. No one could be wrong.
Yeah, it's one of
all
those
about-
things where, like, if you argue with them, you're just like, hey, you're going to eat a shit sandwich. And they're like, no, I won't because I don't like bread. This has been Non-Judgmental.